We all know the trope and the meme of the people who we say peaked in high school, that they're all fat, divorced, bald right now, and they're just, living off of their past glory, and they just keep talking about high school, and they're just not what you'd want an adult to be. And you know what? That can be quite a funny meme, but is it true? For us who weren't popular, who were kind of losers, like I'm one of them, we didn't really have any social capital, didn't really have much experience, and we feel a little bit bitter about not getting that experience that we would have liked, that we see in the movies at those teen years. So we kind of, to make ourselves feel better, we will kind of be
You're like, oh yeah, but it doesn't matter anyway, because all those people who were popular back then, they're all losers now anyway, yeah?
Right, they're all deadbeat, divorced, bald, fat people anyway, right? Do you not think that's a bit of a cope? Now look, there's definitely the people who were popular in high school, who peaked in high school, who were like bullies, or they were nasty people. They were basically like the good-looking, rich or sporty kids who were very popular back then, but they had really bad antisocial behaviors. Now those people probably won't get far once they leave the shallow high school environment where it's all about looks and popularity and money and how rich you are. There is also the minority of, the people who were chads in school or whatever, who spent their entire teenage years drinking and partying, and that's finally caught up with them, and now they're like 2 to 4 out of 10s living their adult lives in like their 20s. So there are definitely the minority who do, as you say, peak and they don't really get far. But if you think about it in general, the people who weren't like the nasty bullies who were stabbing people in the back, or the people who weren't constantly, or who at least at some point stopped partying and drinking all the time, do we think those people who were popular then but weren't in either the other two categories, do we think those people are miserable now? Because to be honest, studies show that people who generally had the most positive experiences at that age, the people at that formative age who had that sense of status, belonging, who were well liked, at a very formative age had positive non-traumatic social experiences, they're generally going to be better off, and it is common sense. Again, because of their early experiences, they turn out more confident, more self-esteem, less self-esteem issues, less self-confidence issues. So as a result, when they get through their adult life, they're just able to easily make friends anywhere they go, easily bond with people, easily come off as a charismatic, charming person, like literally anywhere they go. They generally tend to make more money and they have less mental health issues overall. They're also most likely the good-looking chads in school. Not always, but they were most often good-looking people. And if they maintain that through their adulthood life, before obviously it fades eventually, but if they manage to maintain that through their adult life and they don't ruin themselves with drugs or alcohol or that kind of thing, again, as we said, it's pretty privilege. Pretty privilege is going to get you far in life, even in adulthood. We like to pretend like, oh yeah, we're in adulthood life, that shallow stuff doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. Hence all the looks maxing stuff I talk about and the videos I make and the effort I put into looks maxing. Chad privilege with pretty privilege is real, and it will take you far in life. Not only do looks matter in relationships and obviously romantic relations, but also just more easily making friends because people want to be around you more, but also just in business, in getting hired, getting good jobs. It's a no-brainer. Those popular people who are popular in school are also the people who are most likely to get into long-term relationships at age like 28 or 30 and stay married. Now remember that last video that I made all about like deep-rooted self-identity and trauma and like your deep-rooted self-image as a consequence of early experiences at like formative points in your life. Now think about someone who in their formative adolescent years were on top of the world, who everyone liked them, were very well liked, had no trouble making friends, had very high social status, had no problem with the opposite sex, and was just able to talk to them and was able to form relationships very easily, and who was like good looking and stuff. Think about what their experience is going to be like. Think about the chad in your school who walked around and they knew every girl in the school had a crush on them. Think about how confident that they would have been pretty much from that point onwards. Think about how on top of the world that guy was. Do you think he's going to grow up with negative self-limiting beliefs or negative identity issues that are going to cause him to struggle to make friends or talk to people for the rest of his life? Fucking no. Do you think he's going to be scared to go in and dominate a room or a party? Or scared to talk to a girl that he's a crush on or he likes? No. Because he's been validated from very early on at very formative years of his life. Life is hierarchical, whether we like to admit it or not, and from a very young age he's been on top of that hierarchy. Now, on the contrary, it is absolutely scientifically proven you have worse outcomes in life, less friends, less social life, less positive relationships, even worse health. You live less, like your lifespan decreases if you're someone who had very negative outcomes in school or someone who was even bullied in school. Literally worse self-esteem and lifelong mental health issues. Now, this is just for being bullied, but I'm assuming it's lesser or similar but lesser if you were like not bullied but you were also lonely and not popular. Because there's enough evidence out there to suggest that loneliness kills, and being low status is not something anyone wants to go through. And like, this makes sense, because think about it. Just think about it for a second. Think about going through those formative young years of your life, feeling very unloved, very invisible, feeling very ugly, having no attention from like the opposite sex, and not many people really want to be around you or be your friend. Think about what kind of things that are going to be implanted into your subconscious mind that are going to impact your actions forever. It's very comforting for us who are losers to kind of think that way, to think about those people who were popular then as like, oh, they peaked in high school and yeah, we're better than them now, they're nowhere now, and like there's some sort of revenge arc for us. Well, in some cases it might be true, but let's be honest, for the most part it's not. And let's say this whole narrative of the people who peaked in high school, let's say it was 100% true. Let's say, yeah, true. They all peaked and then they all fall off and they're all miserable now. Let's grant it and say it's 100% true, which I guess if you were in like a low income, low socioeconomic area, low income school, then it might be a little bit more true where the people who were popular then probably end up in jail or some shit. Like, yeah, it could be true. You're still fucked in the head. You're still the one who's going to have to work upstream to try and reverse the negative psychological, mental health, self-image traumas that you went through. You're still going to have to work hard to try and combat and heal a lot of your shit. So get to it.